Hey guys, it's Lee from Slotcars. How you all doing? Right, I'm back. It's been a little while. I've had to take a bit of time out because I've not been very well. Had a chest infection and then ended up with pneumonia, which isn't really ideal, is it? So I've been pretty ill, but I'm slowly on the mend. But you know, when you're not well and all you can do is just sit down and watch a bit of telly and do all that, all I could think about was getting out in the slot shed. It's occupied all my mind. So I've got loads of ideas, loads of things I want to do. But it gave me a chance to sort of catch up on a lot of YouTube videos. You know, there's some cracking ones out there, some great material. So yeah, I've used my time constructively to catch up on some of your brilliant content and found a couple of new ones along the way. I can't remember the actual name of his channel, but AD also got a shed layout, but his shed is 20 foot by 12. I have serious shed envy going on here. But I'll find out the his channel name because it's well worth checking out. He's got a great layout in there. So without further ado, I am going to pop up to the shed and go through what I'm going to do now. So watch this space. Okay, so this is the section I'm going to be working on first. So it's going to be this side part here, coming down to the corner, and this central piece here up to about there. So I've cut out these modular pieces, as you can see here. These have been cut out, so it just makes it easier if I need to take off and work on it. These are also been cut out, so I can lift these out, as you'll see from here. I perhaps need to glue that. I might do that. Yeah, glue that. So what we're going to do is going to build this area up here. I'm going to build it up using polystyrene. And just any old piece of polystyrene that I've got lying about, I'm just going to use that just to give it height and structure. Nothing more than that, really. This is going to have a bit of height here, and then it's going to gradually sort of taper down a little bit till it gets to the end, and then we'll level out round about here somewhere. In terms of the big plans of the track, well, I'm not sure because I'm making up as I go along. But this will all be sort of like the Dartmoor sort of rolling hills with the craggy bits of granite. Now, what I'm going to do for the granite effect, when you look at pictures of the moors, and I'll post a couple of pictures to show you because it's a lot easier to see in a picture. It's mainly sort of grassy hills, but with big chunks of granite protruding out. Now, when I did the garden, I got a lot of little bits of granite like this, and I've cleaned them all up. I'm going to try and incorporate that into the build of the hills. So if you see this, for example, that's going to fit in there. And so it juts out a little bit. So all this will be sort of grassy, nice and smooth, but with a few granite chunks in between. I'm not sure how it's going to work out. It's all trial and error. I've never really done anything like this before. And I've got a few more bits like that, but they're only small pieces, so they're not heavy. So it shouldn't really cause any problems structurally. It's not like I've got huge granite blocks going down on the layout. So I'm going to build up the height and shape with polystyrene. I've then got the, you know, the plaster bandages. Is it called Mod Rock? I'm not sure. Heard people call it Mod Rock, I'm sure. But then I'm going to go over that to give it a bit of solidity and structure. And then if it needs smoothing out, I've got some plaster of Paris, so I'll go over the top of it with that. Once that's done, I can always use that as well to hold these pieces of granite in place on the hillside. Brilliant. Then I'm going to give it a base coat of paint, and then after that the grass flock, and maybe some static grass as well, but it'll certainly be grass flock. Now, I made my own out of sawdust. When I was building the decking, I tried to keep as much of the sawdust as I could, and I started making it, and it needs sieving out, but it actually came out all right, but it's way too dark, way too dark. It almost needs to be more of a yellowy spring grass type colour. So I'm going to have to maybe put a little bit of white I think white might make it a bit too much of a minty green, but a bit of yellow as well. Maybe, hopefully I can get the colour about right. But it's well worth doing, you know, there's a lot in there. And I've used it before and it really does the job quite well. So that's the plan. I'm going to try and do that, but that won't be today. I've got a lot to do today. So the first job is going to be basically to just break up the polystyrene, put it in position, so I've got the levels and the contours about right. And once I've done that, I'm going to go over it with some of the mud rock and some of the granite to hold it all in place. So let's see how that progresses. Once I've done that, excuse me, sorry, I've obviously put this backboard all the way down the side. Now, what I'm going to try and do is blend in the colours from the hills onto the back, which I'm going to paint by hand. I've done a bit of painting in my time and I'm a big fan of Bob Ross, so I'm going to try and sort of paint some hills and a bit of try and add a bit of depth so it looks seamless from the physical three-dimensional pieces onto the sort of two-dimensional. We'll see how that works out. Sky, hills, a couple of sheep, a couple of Dartmoor ponies, who knows, a couple of fence lines, you know. But that's a lot of work because that's a 12-foot stretch of painting that I'm going to have to do at some point. But I need to plan that one because it's quite easy to mess up. And I know, yeah, Bob Ross says no such thing as mistakes, they're all happy accidents, but I'd rather have less happy accidents if at all possible. So I'm going to crack on and I'll come back when all this bit's done and we'll check up on progress. Speak soon. Okay, so this is the first module that I've started on. I've built it up with polystyrene underneath and gone over the top of it with the mud rock plaster, which is good actually. It's worked out all right. This gives the basic structure and the basic form. These I've just placed on for now. I think I'm going to leave those completely until everything's done and then just see how they look, and if they look all right then I can maybe hot glue them on. But this is the first phase, I guess, of the module. I need to wait for all this to dry out. It's actually drying quite quickly, so it shouldn't take too long, and then we can start just sort of moulding it a bit more and getting a base coat on it. Yeah, I'm really pleased with that, and it actually didn't take too long. This is what I've used. It's 10 centimetres by 3 metre. I've got 2 packs of that, so it should be enough for what I need to do. I've got that left out of the first pack. They're £2 a pop from Hobbycraft, so it's not expensive. So if I need more, it's not going to break the bank. So yeah, good start. So I'm going to go and have a coffee and let this dry off a bit, and then when I come back I'm going to be maybe getting a base coat of paint on here, but we'll see. Right then, so the plaster dried out really quickly, which is great, and I've given it a base coat, and it's a sort of mixture of green and brown, but it's very much a base coat because it's going to have flock on top of it. When it's completely dry, I'm just going to dry brush some of these areas here because obviously grass doesn't grow on a vertical slope, so we're just going to maybe a sort of light browny grey colour, just dry brush all across these sort of, what do you call it, vertical facing areas, I guess, just to give that a bit of texture, and then we'll have obviously the grass in between. So yeah, that's probably about it today because I'm pretty knackered, but I've really enjoyed doing that. It's probably going to take a while to dry, so I might have to resume this at another point, but in the meantime, yeah, thanks for watching guys, and part 2 will probably follow next week. So you all take care, my friends, And if you want to watch this layout progress, which I finally got round to starting, then click subscribe and do all the things everyone else tells you to do. Click like, and if you want a little chat, then pop a few comments in. All right, you have a good day. Take care, everyone. Bye now.